Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've got our second best of two series for our WPC Ace coverage tonight. Zyori flying solo for the duration of this cast. We've got Dreamtime versus Vici Gaming as our second BO2. Roland, call it now. 2-0, Vici Gaming. He does. First he said 2-0, then he went back. So you think it's going to be 1-1? This is going to be even? What happened to the easy 2-0s, man? All right. So Vici the heavy favorites here, but Roland thinks there could be an upset brewing. So we'll see. We'll hop right into our draft here and take a gander. Alrighty, so things getting switched up a little bit here with these initial bans. Lycan and Batrider, the two that have been banned out much more consistently, but Naga and Centaur will be the two bans here from Vici Gaming to get things started. That leaves us with a couple of scary heroes left in the pool. Invoker and Ember Spirit are the two that come to mind, but Vici will grab the Ember Spirit, and Dreamtime say, hey, thanks for the pushing power. We'll take the Nature's Prophet, Rat Dota, and they'll also get themselves the Sand King. So DT prioritizing the little Sand Scorpion there. Have some dance parties in the jungle. Vici, they'll get themselves the Invoker, and this is a little bit scary, seeing Vici able to first pick Ember Spirit and Invoker. Two very potent heroes right now. And you want to call it here, Roland? Wex or Exort? Exort. All right. All right, Exort. You heard it here first. Exort Invoker on the field. No, I don't know. We'll see. It's always hard. Oh, right, yeah. Super known for his Quas Wex, but you know, we've been seeing an increasing amount of Exort. It's not as bad as people are giving it credit for after the Forged Spirits got nerfed in 6.79. He can still just get that Basilius Necro book, and before you know it, that Invoker is just knocking down your towers, hitting damn hard, and he's got all these summons all over the place, and you don't even know what's coming your way. But either or will limit some of the things that Dreamtime can pick up here. We've seen that Skeleton King wandering around quite a bit, and that will deter DT from snagging him if they were so inclined. But yeah. I would love to see some Clockwork. Yeah, ban out those offlaners. That's not a bad strategy. They've already banned out the Batrider, so they could try and focus, isolate ROTK in terms of bans here. DT will take their time thinking about what they want to ban out third, but Vici, they've got a better idea. They'll go ahead and third ban the Visage. Another hero that, in this Chinese meta, Roland, what's the deal with this Visage, man? To me, Visage is still just a god tier support, and we haven't really seen him that much in WPC this season. Yeah, he's been banned out sometimes, but yeah, he's been ignored a lot. I don't know. Teams just don't prioritize him. They look for Rubik over the Visage, which is a lot different from the West. The West really prioritizes Visage way over Rubik, and would I take a Visage over a Juggling Sand King? Hells yeah. Most cases, yeah. Shadow it depends. The Shadow Shaman is kind of a toss-up. He's more in the niche strats. If you're on Dire, I think Shadow Shaman's a lot more valuable. But, I mean, looking at this particular matchup here, where's the Ancient Apparition? He's been totally ignored. So far, at least. DT, they'll third ban the Elder Titan. Very interesting. A hero that Vici Gaming have run a fair amount, but he's really fallen off. Talk about from I had it backwards. Talk about from bull to bitch, man. Like, he is. That is true. Ember Spirit does synergize with Elder Titan. The fiery bolas make it pretty easy to connect with the big Earth Splitter, or even just the Echo Stomp. Both the abilities set up really easy following the fiery bolas. But still, we haven't seen a lot of teams pulling off that combo. It can be dirty, but Elder Titan is he's an odd hero right now. He's like powerful and weak at the same time. It's kind of an odd. He just fills a very weird niche, and I don't know. Ever since they limited the amount of scouting that he could do with the Astral Spirit, he has just really taken a nosedive in popularity. Yeah, yeah, that's true. He's just a shadow of the War Runner. He is not even close to the utility that Centaur brings. And Earth Splitter, it's not like a useless ability, but it's just sort of like a middle of the road because you can't really initiate with it. I mean, you kind of can sometimes, but it's not a good initiation. And it's an okay finisher. It's sort of just one of those like follow up. It doesn't really do enough damage to wombo combo people, but it's nice to have in the mix if you have someone that can already set it up for you. He's just weird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Centaur is just he's just easier to execute in general. Yeah, jam R and run around. Put on the roller skates and start cruising. Now, Vici will fourth ban the Morphling here, and Dreamtime will ultimately ban out the Rubik, so that other support that is pretty highly sought after, but I'm still... I mean, Vici Gaming could just grab Ancient Apparition Rasta here if they wanted to. They will need two supports, and that's a pretty potent duo right now that a lot of teams have been running. DT will third pick the Mirana, so they've got their support Sand King, Nature's Prophet for the off lane. Probably a position 1 Mirana in a safe lane type role. And they'll be looking for a mid hero / their second support. This could be an AA coming out for them fourth as well. Vici settle on the Shadow Demon. So they take a slightly different turn, possibly a bit of a deny pick here. Shadow Demon SK is a good combo that Dreamtime could have utilized. And it makes for an easy setup with the Mirana. Easy arrows, and that makes for a really scary killer tri-lane. So they'll grab the Shadow Demon. They don't have a problem scooping them up themselves. Utilize that Soul Catcher and a little bit of that disruption damage. Interesting draft so far. I still think Ancient Apparition is a value pick here for either of these teams. They both need one more support. And with Rasta and AA. Mm. Yeah, it is going to be a Chen fourth pick for Dreamtime. So they will have a bit more pushing power now. Chen mixed with the Nature's Prophet. Plenty of Rat Dota to split push around the map. And they'll have a good bit of sustain. We saw in that the last match of our first series, Chen definitely came into play. Mech in the Hand of God, the All Heal. Not an ability to be underestimated. So, still surprised though. I mean, Ancient Emperor, it's weird how we see some of these heroes in this current patch, this certain meta where it's like Ancient Apparition, first pick, first ban, every game in the row for 10 games, and all of a sudden it's just like, nah, let's just ignore him. Nah, we don't need him here. It's weird how it fluctuates so quickly like that, where they're... I think that's just a sign of how balanced this patch is. There aren't those god tier heroes that are just good in a vacuum, you know, the pre 6.79 Bat Riders and what have you. Basically what Lycan is right now. Lycan is kind of the only hero right now that I think everyone can agree upon is just completely first pick, first ban. Like, get that shit out of here. He's just too strong. Yeah, Clash of Playstyles. That's a good way to put it, Roland. Really is. Now, Vici will fourth pick the Venomancer, and this makes me a little bit nervous for Vici Gaming. They are really lacking in crowd controls. They've got the Fiery Bolas, which not really ideal. Depending on what Invoker goes for here, yeah, you know, sure, they'll have some Cold Snap action, probably some Tornado. You know, he could still go Exort, just not a lot of lockdown in general. Disruption, not a true stun, because it phases you out, so it's a little bit different. And Venomancer, he doesn't bring anything to the table in terms of CCs, other than the slow from the Venomous Gale, which is not particularly potent. And Dreamtime, on the other hand, they've got the Sand King and the Mirana, plenty of stuns there, and then whatever Chen can grab out of the jungle, which will undoubtedly be a Centaur at some point in this match. So just sort of an interesting draft from Vici. It can work if they can be successful with this Veno, if they can roam around and pick up some early kills. Certainly a chance, but I think for Vici, it's a more difficult level of execution. Like, they have very potent heroes, but positioning and like ganking in the laning stage. Like, if they can have a good laning stage, shut them down, get some early kills, get some momentum on that Ember Spirit and Invoker, and maybe like get that Invoker a fast hand of Midas, especially if he goes Exort, they'll be okay. But if they start to fall behind early on in the laning phase, I think they'll have their work cut out for him. Some interesting final bans here. Nyx Assassin for DT and Omni Knight actually banned out by Vici. That is... I don't know what to make of that Omni Knight ban, but... Super heal, I guess, but it's so ass. He is not strong right now. Viper, the final choice for DT, and that is more of a mid-hero that I was thinking they would go for here. And Vici, wow. They'll grab a Leshrac, and if I'm not mistaken, Roland, this will be a farming Lesh. Fenrir, okay, it'll be Fenrir on the Lesh. So it's going to be a farming Veno. Damn it, snakes, it'll be Veno mid. Veno's okay. No, safe lane Veno. Off lane Veno. You're thinking the total off lane? Yeah, I guess he has to here. They don't have a great off laner. Who else would they do? Yeah, I suppose that's true. The way they have this set up, Veno can get away with the off lane, but kind of an odd draft. I wanted to see a farming Lesh. It's been way too long since I've seen one of those, and I think it can be viable. Yeah, TI2 way back in the day. It's not strong like it used to be, but it's okay. Lesh is in an odd place right now in terms of how potent he can be. He needs kind of a lot to come online, but he's just so good at knocking down towers. Split Earth is still a great disable, and he can put out a lot of damage, especially that Pulse Nova. He still puts out an absurd amount of DPS. But this is game 1 of this best of 2 series between Vici Gaming and Dreamtime. And let's introduce the rosters here. We've got VG on the Radiant side. It'll be FY playing on the Shadow Demon. Sylar on the safe lane Invoker here. In the mid, that'll be ROTK playing on the Venomancer. And it looks like Super will be the one headed to the off lane here on the Ember Spirit. Fenrir on the Lesh. Is he just going to rotate down bottom? Will they do a tri-lane with this Invoker? It looks like it. And that sexy Invoker hairdo. Oh, look at that. You know, I have that Invoker hair. That was one of the first rares I ever got. Rare sexy hair for the Invoker. Too bad I don't play Invoker. He's hard, Roland. The only build I can do on Invoker is just Exort Sunstrike. Just slap him around. I actually haven't played Invoker since they buffed Quas Wex. Never. Wegs Exort? Jesus, dude. Just go all Alacrity. I was gonna say, what do you do with a Wegs Exort build? Like, is it at all good? Just Meteor, EMP, Sunstrike. All right, there you go. All right, Alacrity, lay in the auto attacks, get yourself a Desolator, MKB, and just go ham. All right, I'm into it. That's the Roland Invoker build here. DT, they'll smoke up in the early stage. Fenrir, maybe in some trouble. He'll make it back to the tree line. Arrow on the mark in July. That'll be an easy Burrow Strike. And this should be a first blood coming out. Yeah, Mirana gonna grab the first blood. So their first smoke, very cheeky from DT. And it will prove successful as they do get that first kill on the board here. And they also get a ward down. It'll be this Observer here for the Dire. A nice central ward here in the jungle. And they'll see when they pass by. Lane ward down for the Radiant in this bottom lane. So that would usually be a sign that Vici want to be a bit aggressive here. Shen jungling aggressively. Super with a Wild Wing Ripper. No. Tornado out already. Just clearing up this creep wave. And this is where the action is going to be at. Let's introduce our Dire. Oh, that arrow. That arrow. Little close for comfort. We'll have Dreamy U playing on the position 1 Mirana here for DT. In July on the Sand King, and it will be Super playing on the support Chen on the side of the Dire. There are 2 Supers in this game. I know it's quite confusing. Air will be on the solo mid Viper, and up top it will be XDD on the solo safe lane Nature's Prophet. So far, this aggressive jungling Chen seems to be pretty effective. He'll be able to grab a Centaur here if he's so inclined. Just going to hang Wing Ripper for now. Really a solid creep for these early skirmishes. The Tornado can come in handy to try and zone people out. But that toughness aura, it's basically like an early Basilius, and it really does help your team tank up early on. And just look at this aggression coming out here, hiding in the tree line. Ready to drop the arrow, and yeah, they're just not going to give this Invoker any room to farm. Oh, they're just going to dive this tower. In July, looking for the Burrow Strike. He'll get Cold Snap. Takes a couple of auto attacks. Actually takes a tower shot as well. Oh, wow, this is awkward from DT. Now the Wild Wing just going to take some tower shots as well. Invoker might be able to score a last hit on this guy. And one more. Nope, Invoker won't get it. 18 hit points, but very awkward execution from DT. Vici have already rotated their supports. FY and Fenrir smoked up, roaming around. And yeah, they're both only level 1, Disruption and Split Earth. The only abilities they have online. They rotated mid. Weren't able to find a gank there. And now they'll just move up towards the top lane. They might be able to find the Nature's Prophet. They might have the damage. Flame Guard, I think they can kill him. Yeah, he doesn't have the mana to TP out now anyhow. But this is that classic roaming support duo, that the Shadow Demon Lesh, and their efforts will be thwarted as they walk right into the creep wave. Vici just can't catch a break here, but Super comes in. He'll dive this tower, Flame Guard on, doing some damage to XDD. Sleight of Fist, Bola. This will be a kill coming for Vici. There you have it. Ember Spirit basically soloing him down. Dreamy U ports in. Disruption. Lesh, nowhere to be found for the Split Earth. And Dreamy U will survive as he pops out of the vortex there. Meanwhile, down bottom, DT just cutting the lane, completely zoning out this Invoker. Doing a lot of damage to the tower. Have it down below half health. Cold Snap on July. Whoa, this Sand King build. Value Point and Caustic Finale at level 3. No Sandstorm. This is just all about wave clearing, and they will continue to pressure this tower, but very interesting Sand King build, very atypical. Yeah, Poison Boys going at it. Oh, the arrow just barely clipping ROTK. And DT, they will find a kill here in the mid lane. That'll make it 2-1 here at the 4-minute mark. And yeah, this is an interesting mid lane, the Viper versus the Venomancer. Poison on poison, and it's been a pretty even farm fest here. 20-4. On the Veno, and 17-4 on the Viper in terms of last hits and denies. So mid lane looking pretty even. Vici have a big problem here though, and it is these underleveled supports. I mean, just XP per minute. Level 1 Lesh, level 2 Shadow Demon. Meanwhile, there's a level 4 Sand King on the Dire, and Chen is well into level 3. Down bottom, there'll be initiation onto Sylar. Arrow off the mark. Oh, Dreamy U. Bit of a misplay there. That would have been a kill, I think. They even have a Centaur with a War Stomp ready. They would have been able to crowd control him down. But instead, in July, he'll get cold snapped. Looking for the Burrow Strike. Chen on the other side of the tree line. Still with this Centaur, although it is reasonably low. TP coming in on the backside of the tower. It will be XDD. It'll be a 4 versus 1 down here. They're going to try and transition this into a tower push. Arrow finishes him off, and that'll be a kill going the way of Dreamy U. And now with the Chen creep as well as the Treants, this will be the first tower kill of the match, going the way of DT. They're handling themselves quite well down here in this bottom lane. And usually jungling Chen a little bit more risky, but DT makes it look easy. They'll be rewarded for their efforts, and Chen will actually be the one to grab the last hit on that tower. Oh, God. Need more coffee. Vici Gaming rotating up top. I see a ping coming out on this tower, but DT, oh, cancels the TP there. Probably the right call. Lesh was just gearing up. We saw him putting his hands up in the air. Gearing up for that Split Earth, but won't find it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And oh, now a TP coming in. Nope. Nature's Prophet. Keeps canceling it. He wants to, but just can't find it. And I think DT will just let this tower fall. Yeah, Lesh will even burn the Edict here. And that'll secure the kill. That'll be a tower for tower exchange.
Top tower has fallen.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, DT, they're all grouped up and looking for another kill perhaps. Dreamy U lining up for that arrow. Sylar needs to be careful here. It is nighttime, so makes those arrows a little bit more difficult to see. And look at this in July aggression coming out. Nature's Prophet, ETP's behind the tree line here. And Sylar, he just gets dove upon. Killed once again. Super coming in. Fire Remnants forward. Looking to finish off in July. Won't find it. Sleight of Fist off the mark for the Sand King. Does secure the kill onto the Nature's Prophet. There we go. We'll finish off the Sand King as well as Fenrir joins the party. And Nature's Prophet, he'll fall as well. Mirana makes it out with just a couple of hit points to spare. But DT, they get punished for that overcommitment. They got the Invoker, but boy did it cost them. Great reaction from Vici Gaming. That'll level things out. All of a sudden, zeroed out. And little experience edge actually going the way of Vici after trading those towers. So that big edge they had in the bottom lane, now pretty much nullified. Ember Spirit, the big breadwinner. Oh, Gale was actually off the mark. Oh, no. Now ROTK, he's in big trouble. He'll pour it out, and that will be enough for a survival. Forces out the Viper Strike as well. Both these two heroes. The counter to this mid lane matchup is TP scrolls. You get into a sticky wicket, just TP out. Neither of them have any kind of an interrupt, and yep, well played by the Venom. And we see Air carrying a TP scroll as well, keeping his bases covered. Yeah. And XDD. He's going to find himself in some trouble here. So dead. There's the disruption. Sunstrike. It'll actually be off the mark, but it just doesn't matter. The damage is just too much. Ember Spirit now on a killing spree. And he's the scary hero. Super. Leading farmer by far. Tied for the highest hero level with the Viper on the Dire side. And Lesh. Fenrir is doing a pretty good job here. He's all of a sudden level 5. He's found some recovery and going for kind of an interesting build. Level 5 at 221. Grabbing that value point in Lightning Storm. It was buffed in 6.79 just a little bit. Kind of reworked, and they tweaked the mana cost to make it a little bit more effective. Sylar down bottom. Burrow Strike, Arrow. And that'll be a Starstorm to finish him off. FY. Whoa! He gets obliterated by the Nature's Prophet ulti. But more support coming in. Fire Remnant forward. Dreamy U. He'll get hit by the bolas trying to TP out. Will the damage be there? Yes, it will. He'll fall. Now Epicenter coming out. ROTK. He goes down as well. Super. Trying to find an escape. Will have a Fire Remnant he can scoot to. Fenrir. Won't be able to do too much. Did have the Edict on, but won't be able to find a kill. Kind of an odd fight there, but I guess DT do find the better of it. They'll finish off the Invoker before the fight really starts. This Ember is still what's scary, though, and it seems like DT just don't really have any tools to deal with him. Now, that will be a Drum of Endurance coming out after the Phase Boots already. Still the leading farmer. Pretty impressive coming out from Super. And, you know, we talk about Ember Spirit a lot, and the real bane to his existence is silences. And DT have no silences. They have some stuns, some crowd controls, but no Orchid Carrier. And I think this Ember Spirit will just run amok throughout this game. DT. Yeah, and Yep. Yeah, they are doing a good job shutting down this Invoker. He is 0-3-1. The only assist he's picked up, I think, came from a Sunstrike. And
Dire's middle tower.
oh yeah, he missed that Sunstrike. I don't know where that assist came from, but oh, okay, yeah, that first skirmish down bottom. Yeah, he did grab a little bit of harassment, but they'll press forward. They'll grab this tier 1 tower kill in the mid, and it will actually be Ember Spirit that gets the last hit, so that'll further Super's farm. He's got a double damage rune on, making it all the easier. And because they've knocked down these towers already, Sylar will find himself a little bit of recovery. If he wants that Midas, he'll have it before too long. He did go Exort, so Midas does synergize with that build a little bit more. You see it much more commonly indeed. DT group up down bottom. They force out the Glyph, a Wild Wing Ripper, as well as a Dark Troll Summoner. Two of the best creeps for trying to push towers, especially at this stage of the game. Again, that armor aura, then plus the little skeleton warriors. But they'll come around the backside. Super still the double damage rune on. It will expire as they come in. Huge amount of damage coming out. There's the all heal from Chen, but it'll just buy them a few seconds. The tower will fall. Shen goes down. Nature's Prophet falls, as does the Sand King. It's not over yet. It could be a full wipe. Air gets caught in the disruption, and will be Dreamy U to walk away. He'll survive, but this Viper, no way he'll survive to tell the tale. A 1-for-4 triple kill for Super's Ember Spirit. They do lose the tower. It was Nature's Prophet that got the last hit on it, so it wasn't denied, but Vici Gaming with the response, and now this Ember Spirit just balling out of control. 1,000 gold, 3,000 experience in the favor of our Radiant side, and they will continue to press on. DT looking like they could be in a bit of trouble here. There's a Hand of Midas out on the Nature's Prophet, so his farm will start to jump up a little bit. And, yep, Invoker, he'll go for that Hand of Midas as well. So his farm will start to improve quite a bit. He's middle of the pack, and I think we'll see him make a run for the top. Wow. That is one good thing about the Flame Guard build. In a situation like that, Super just laying in the AoE damage right there. Just absolutely absurd how much damage he does to these squishy supports. We saw Chen. He was tanking it, burned the all heal, but still just couldn't handle the damage. Working on a mech about halfway to the recipe, and would have probably turned the tide in that fight. And maybe a miscommunication here, as Air did pick up the headdress. So a bit of a wasted item if you're not going to pick up the mech. Doesn't really give you all that much. Just a little bit of regeneration, a couple of stats. Now just going to go for the Ogre Club. So kind of an odd build for this Viper, and that will make things a little bit more unfortunate
Dire's bottom
for
tower
DT.
is under attack.
We've done with the right idea, though. They want to take a mid-game edge, and they'll do that by knocking down towers, utilizing all these units they've picked up for themselves. They will pressure the top tier 1 pretty hard. No glyph available for the Radiant, and they will watch this tier 1 tower fall.
Radiant's top tower has
It was
fallen.
only a 3-man rotation.
Dire's
They'll just
bottom
settle for a
tower
tier
is
1
under
tower
attack.
exchange down bottom. In July, coming in with an epicenter, but completely off the mark. Doesn't do any damage to it. Arrow flies. Tower in deny range. So it will not be a tower for tower exchange. DT secured the top tier 1 tower. And, yep, that's all that's going to come out. So a nice little defense, but pretty lackluster epicenter there. Meanwhile,
Dire's bottom
FY and
tower has
Fenrir
been denied.
rotating into the Dire jungle. Smoked up, looking for a kill onto Super perhaps. And they won't find it. They'll settle for Chen creeps instead. And they'll burn a bit of mana, but they do get rewarded for their efforts. Nice 75 gold bounty going their way. Mech out on both teams, though. One on the Veno and one on the Chen. Down bottom. Whoa. Super. He gets stunned up here, but he's got a Fire Remnant. Sleight of Fist. Looking to do some damage to this Mirana. Doesn't have the detection. And Moonlight Shadow will thwart his efforts. Forced to back out. Still, Ember Spirit showing us how much damage he can do. That was a 1v2, and they were forced to run away from him. This hero's just not fair, man. Teleport from the Nature's Prophet straight into the Roche pit. DT will go for it, and this is a little risky. Yeah, no armor reduction indeed. No medallion out. And, yep, no medallion. Not a traditional Roche lineup, except for the Nature's Prophet trees. Vici, it doesn't look like they'll scout it out. Still enough time to contest, but I don't know if they'll make it in time. ROTK, he's going to put a ward down. Oh, no, this could be a disaster for DT. Gale, Sunstrike. Maybe they can snipe it here. And there's the stun. It falls to the Dire. Aegis picked up by the Viper. ROTK, what are you doing, man? He'll run in. He gets off the Poison Nova, but I don't know if that was worth it. Fenrir taking some pretty hefty damage. Does secure the kill onto the Sand King. And now Super on the Chen. Maybe in some trouble. Dreamy You trying to TP out. Super on the Ember. He can't find the kills. He can't find Super. They will settle for air, though. He gets Cold Snap. And this Viper. What? But still, just right-click him. I mean, still, I know he has the corrosive skin, but I don't know. I feel like they could have pursued onto that and maybe finished him off. Maybe not, but wow. So Vici, they get a 1-for-2 exchange, but DT are the ones that walk away with the Aegis as well as the Roche Gold. So very risky play, but in the end, it does pay off. Unfortunately for Vici, they don't have any positioning tools. They knew what they were doing, but they had no easy way to get into the pit. ROTK took the slow route in, and he kind of came down this way, and by the time he got there, Roche was already dead and ended up just dying. If they had a Force Staff on the Invoker, or like a Clockwork, or a Storm, anyone that could have hopped over that ledge, I think that would have been a different story, but unfortunately, they're just lacking all those tools. FY working on his Force Staff, but obviously didn't have it for that fight, and it looks like Lesh. Force Staffs aplenty here. Lesh working on his, and Invoker. Hard to say if that'll be a Necrobook or Force Staff, but could possibly be both. Super down bottom. Will get stunned up. And, yep, there's an Epicenter. They'll end his Wicked 6 streak. Viper the one to grab the bonus gold. And DT, all of a sudden, regaining some momentum in this game. Vici pulled ahead by a small amount, but now Dreamtime. They've leveled out that gold graph once again. They will rotate towards the mid lane. Mirana, Drum of Endurance now, complete after the phase boots. Blink Dagger already on this Sand King. 1, 3, and 5. It seems that Vici are privy to this. They did walk over a ward. Moonlight Shadow's online. We do see this Forge Spirit scouting things out.
Attack.
DT just gearing up for a push here in the mid lane. Treants come out. Chen creeps down as well. And they'll just start chipping into this tower. There is a glyph for Vici. So if they want to make a hold here, they might be able to do it. Chen creeps to initiate it. Follow up from the Burrow Strike. That'll be a dead Shadow Demon to start things off. All heal from Chen. Poison Nova came out. Super will fall. That'll make it a 1-for-1 to start off this fight. Viper laying in the right clicks onto ROTK. Might be able to finish off this Venomancer. Arrow intercepted by the Forge Spirit there. They'll proc the Aegis. And it will be a 2-for-1 to get things started. Air may well fall second time. He gets caught by the bolas. And, yep, that'll be a dead Viper. In July just ports out. And it'll be a 1-for-2 in the end. And they also burn the Aegis. So kind of a 1-for-2.5. And Vici Gaming regaining some of that momentum here. They will counter push. Necrobook level 1 out for the Invoker. Of course, has the Forge Spirits as well. And Lesh with that Edict. They will knock down this tower. Look at this Lesh build. 2-2-4 at level 8. Very uncommon. It's not bad for clearing creeps. Lightning Storm. It does 260 damage only instead of the 300, but it's only a 4-second cooldown. A really high DPS ability. And it jumps 7 times at level 4. It's a kind of an old school Lesh build. You used to see Leshes grab the Lightning Storm primary just to zone people out in lane because you could use it on a creep and it would jump so far. But pretty much exclusively you see Lesh go 4-4-0 at level 8 in this current meta. Yeah. Yeah, he's got the setup with Shadow Demon, so that makes his life a little easier. And still just a very interesting build from the Lesh rack. Always like to see things a bit different. Yeah. On point with the Lesh. There's the Force Staff on the Shadow Demon. And this Ember Spirit still leading the way in terms of last hits. He's got himself a Perseverance, and yep, there's that Sword Duo. And that will be a Battle Fury coming out at the 19-minute mark. Ember still unbelievably farmed. And even though DT are hanging in there for now, they don't really have the carry advantage. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Will Nature's Prophet get Orchid? No, he's going Necro. So they're just going all push here. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. I mean, DT have some pushing, but Vici have just as much, if not more, with the Diabolic Edict on top of the Plague Wards and then everything that the Invoker is bringing to the table here. It will actually be a short Roche respawn after this initial timer. It's at about 4:40. So once we get into the RNG, I think it'll be less than a minute before Roche comes up after that initial timer. So it could become the focal point of this match. Time will tell. Super just stacking up the Ancients, and we'll start to clear it out with some of those creeps. And maybe we'll see Vici do a smoke here. They are grouped up in the mid lane. They do have a smoke on the Lesh. And nope, they won't find their opening.
Pull roots and run.
Yeah, DT has to do something cheeky here. I don't think they can win this just straight up in Farm Fest. I think Vici have the carry advantage, and I think this Ember Spirit is already going to be difficult for them to push into. So I think DT need to utilize this Moonlight Shadow kind of like they are now to try and set up kills. I mean, they've got a Blink Dagger on this Sand King, a level 2 Epicenter. They have to find some way to get pickoffs. Just go Guerrilla Warfare mode and take Vici out of their element. Yeah. Ag Scepter up on the Viper. And it will be a level 2 Necro Book coming out for the Nature's Prophet. Looks like Vici may try and force a fight in the mid lane. ROTK, level 13, has that level 2 ultimate available. Necronomicon himself coming out. So Vici, they're going all-in push here. They're going to have 2 Necro Books.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they'll press forward here. I think DT are going to be forced to make some sort of a defense. Their tier 2 tower in the mid will fall.
Dire's middle tower
But DT will need to respond somehow. I don't think Vici will go for high ground. Maybe they'll just rotate up top. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Nature's Prophet just can't do a hell of a lot here. He keeps cancel casting here, trying to stay in fog. And yeah, we'll see how DT want to react. I think they'll rotate. I mean, they've already taken out the tier 2 bottom. Roche, still a little ways before he respawns. And Vici just up top. They can just stay grouped up and continue to knock down tier 2 towers, I think. I don't think DT really want to take a fight right now, but if they can get, it's all about lining up that epicenter.
strength.
Yep. Oh yeah, here's
Rekindled.
Dire Ward on the low ground outside the Roche pit. And they've got some Radiant Wards down here as well, right in the middle of the jungle. And oh, here's actually a Dire Ward also. Wards aplenty around this kind of Roshan region of the map, you know.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, no
attack.
gem out quite yet. Necro books on both sides, though. One on the Invoker and one on the Nature's Prophet. We'll see an initiation here as they hop forward. Defensive disruption. That will buy them some time. And now he'll hop forward. Moonlight Shadow comes out. Dreamy U. Sunstrike. That'll be enough to finish him off. And he'll be the first kill. Wow, they'll get a couple of Chen creeps as well. Nice fight for Vici Gaming there. And finally, a gem will come out onto the Shadow Demon. Roche up in less than a minute. And Vici, they may not be privy to it. They don't really have a great Roche lineup either. Really, neither team does. DT do only because they have raw units between the Chen and the Nature's Prophet. Speaking of Nature's Prophet, he'll push down the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane, showing off his level 3 Necronomicon. And we'll move into the jungle to rejoin his friends. Handamitis on Nature's Prophet is really starting to kick in. He is nipping at the heels of that Ember Spirit on net worth, behind by only about 500 gold or so. The Invoker, though, talking about a recovery. Sylar was so far behind to start off this game, and now he is number 3 on net worth at 9.4k. Roche up in 15, but Vici, they'll press forward. They want this Tier 2 tower bottom, and DT are not eager to give it up. Sleight of Fist forward, doing a lot of damage to that Mirana. Yep, Sand King in the trees nearby. Vici trying to scout him out, using that Sleight of Fist very well. At this point, you can just spam it. And you can use it as a scouting tool, because if you throw it in the trees and you don't jump anywhere, you know there's nobody there. And if you jump around and do a little bit of damage, well, then you know there's at least one person hiding nearby. And you can usually discern how many people are nearby as well. But just look at this Sleight of Fist harass. It's just ridiculous. And he's got a Chrysalis up now as well. He'll hop forward. Bolas connect onto the Viper. In July, looking for the right opportunity. Mirana just gets obliterated by the cleaves, though. Nothing you can do about it. The poke is just so superior for Vici. Waiting for this epicenter to channel. The all heal. Oh no, that'll interrupt his blink. Sand King's in big trouble. Oh no, they'll finish off the Viper as well. They see him there, but he'll just scoot back to safety. He'll survive. They lose the Tier 2 tower in the bottom. Nature's Prophet does go top. He pushes the Tier 2. Yeah, great Poison Oa. Buys them some time. And Vici, I don't think they'll go for high ground here. No, they chip away at the tower. Just want that Furion to come back to the base, and they'll be successful on that front. Yeah. Now, Venomancer, he's going for Necro Book. He's got a level 2 Necro Book now. Vici will back up to see that Roche has been respawned. And Force Staff now up on the Sand King. Still not too many other big items. Looks like Chen going for a Necro Book. Dude, there are so many staves of wizardry in this game between the Necro Books and the Force Staves. Pretty much everyone has picked up at least one staff of wizardry throughout this game so far. Point booster. Roland spies a point booster. Yeah, it's on the Sand King. So working towards his Ag Scepter coming up next. So look at the gold graph here in Vici. Only about 2,500 ahead, but they've got a big experience lead. Just about 10,000. And Chen, the lowest level in the game. Wow, Ember Spirit is level 17, 3 up on the leading experience farmers of Dreamtime. And actually, farmer singular. That is the Nature's Prophet, and a lot of that's just because of the Handamitis. Has the ultimate orb. And, oh, that's just a fire remnant forward. So that's a wasted Moonlight Shadow there. They wanted to gank that Ember Spirit, but he was a step ahead of him. And looks like it'll get revealed, so they should see the Moonlight Shadow is used, and now Vici, yeah, they should feel pretty safe just moving into the Roche pit. Yeah, they know DT can't sneak up on him, and will be a uncontested Roche, it looks like. DT are just not in a good position to defend, and this is that point where even though Vici don't really have a great Roche lineup traditionally, they've just got more than enough damage. So many units here with the Necro Books and the Forge Spirits. Easy Roshan for the Radiant side, and that will be an Aegis for the Ember Spirit. He also has a double damage rune, which made that a little bit easier for him. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, that Vici experience. Daedalus going to be coming out for the Ember Spirit next. He is just so fat. That's a BKB on Sylar. So no Force Staff, just Necrobook BKB here for the Invoker. Sand King pressuring the top lane. Does have a TP scroll. And yeah, Vici playing it safe for now. And maybe they'll see the Fury on. Yeah, they're waiting for XDD. They want to see him burn that teleport and see that it's on cooldown. And that'll be their sign to commit to a 5v4. And they'll press forward. Sleight of Fist harass. Just obliterating this Mirana. She's so squishy. Super in the front lines. Connects to the bowls onto air. Out comes the Viper Strike. And he'll have himself his Daedalus once the Courier becomes available. Now, there is some split pushing here. The Nature's Prophet and Sand King are in the top. Sylar will be the one to port back. And the rest of DT will actually walk back here towards the Radiant base. Uh-oh. Oh, he's definitely going to die. That's an epicenter. BKB, Ghost Walk. He survives. A very close call. Yep. And, oh, wow. Sand King. Yeah, he'll make it back to safety also.
Invisibility.
Yep. Invoker survives just barely. And now a Hooded Defiance out on the Viper. No, Sleight of Fist is physical. So Sleight of Fist is, it does an auto attack and then does bonus damage to heroes. So it basically counts as a physical auto attack. So it'll, if you have a Desolator, that's why Desolator's so good on him, because it'll apply a physical attack debuff. So it's yeah, it's pretty potent. Ember Spirit is. Yeah, you can go Deso first if you want. Wow, I think it's because he was invisible. Yeah, you can't Sleight of Fist invisible units. So he was just fogged, right? He was, yeah. It was close, but I think it's because he's Sandstorm right there. So yeah, a little bit lucky. Sometimes better lucky than good. But top tier 1, or top tier 2 tower falls, and that's the last outer tower for DT. But they're pushing down bottom. Nope, arrow off the mark. Ember Spirit, he's still in the top lane, he's just hanging out. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Ember. If you're carrying that TP scroll, you just put down your Fire Remnant, you can port back, and then defend, use like, you port back, Sleight of Fist, maybe do some bolas, maybe Sleight of Fist again, and then just hop back to that Fire Remnant you put down, whatever lane it was that you're pushing. DT is doing a pretty good job split pushing. They're making it more difficult for Vici, but Vici just have a good arsenal to try and deal with this. Yeah. And BOTs are now up for the Invoker, so he'll be porting all over the place. Still sitting on a 9-second BKB, yeah. This could be an opening. Yeah, so Furion, he'll stay in the fog, and he'll have a TP in about 5 seconds, but air, take your press forward, Meatball comes a little bit off the mark, and no, there is a glyph available. They won't burn it quite yet. Necro units being summoned, and there you go, glyph comes out. Vici, still in great shape. Furion trying to split push, and wow, Ember Spirit will finish off the Chen. I have no idea. Where did the Chen die? It's just back in his base. I guess he just got cleaved there. That'll be a tier 3 tower. Nature's Prophet. He's trying to push bottom. 4,000 gold. He does have a buyback, but he just can't push fast enough. Vici are going to get racked, and they can still come back to defend their tier 3 tower. And Super just trying to do as much damage as he can. They want to finish off this barracks before they back out.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Wow,
Dire's
there's
middle
the Viper
barracks
strike.
has fallen.
Oh, there we go. And yeah, Nature's Prophet, wow, he'll get picked off. And this is just a disaster now. And they'll proc the Aegis, but that's okay. That's kind of what Ember was hoping for. Long range arrow, off the mark, slightly mistimed. And this will be the end of the mid lane of Rax for sure. No outer towers remaining, so Vici could possibly just move into one of these other lanes and try and take 2 lanes of Rax. Looks like they'll do just that. Invoker headed up towards the top. And yep, more Forge Spirits come out. No glyph available. Furion down for another 30 seconds. This might be all she wrote for DT here. Vici in pretty good shape. They'll be into the tier 3 tower.
Has fallen. Dire's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah. Monotonous, yeah. Yep, 19 to 11, and now about a 10,000 gold, 12,000 experience lead for Vici. That is a 12-1-5 Ember Spirit, and he was an off-lane Ember Spirit at that. I mean, they did do an aggro try, so it was a much easier lane, but Super having an amazing game. About 6,000 gold. What does he pick up here? Is that just another Battle Fury? No, it's actually going to be a Lincoln's. Yeah, still has plenty of gold to play around with. This over. Yeah, DT will hang in there. They've got one good fight left in them, but they are certainly up against the ropes. And Viper with a pipe. Yeah, not bad here. And Nature's Prophet will port up top. I feel like right now DT don't really have a strategy. They can't really split push. They can't really secure Roche. They can't pick up kills. They're basically just hoping that Vici will dive the well or dive tier 4s or do something silly, and they're kind of hanging in there in that kind of, well, it's not over yet. Maybe Vici will overstep and we can turn this around, but DT are in really big trouble, and I don't think they have a clear plan to turn this game around. Scythe of Vice is up on the Nature's Prophet, but too little, too late at this juncture, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Furion was first picked here. It's okay. I don't think he's the weak point of their team. He's done all right. The problem now is they just don't have enough carry power. A Viper Mirana does. They just two heroes that don't scale that well. Yeah, they second pick the Sand King. Ooh, look at In July's positioning here, up on this little ledge. Yeah, trying to be net, hiding in the trees, and yeah, if he gets hit by the Poison Nova again, that will just be comically ridiculous. Vici, they'll press forward. Super clears up the creep wave. Lift, no. And still no glyph. Sand King. Yeah, he's too far away. He doesn't have an opening. And there you go. There you go. Burrow strike forward. A decent epicenter, but the follow-up just isn't there. Shen burns the ultimate. And yeah, they're just in big trouble. Venomancer ult flies onto the pipe. And yeah, there's the Ember Spirit coming forward. Super will fall. The meatball on top of it. And Air just getting wrecked by all the fire damage. Shen buys back. But to what avail? Nature's Prophet down bottom will secure a tier 1 tower kill, or a tier 3 tower kill. And yeah, Chink creeps there. Going a lane of Rax, maybe you can get a lane of Rax out of this. FY ports back, and yeah, looks like it. He'll get himself the melee Rax. Chink creeps, stunning it up. XDD trying to port out, but yeah, he'll get interrupted by the deafening blast. Nope. Yeah, Shadow Demon will disrupt himself. And still not out of the clear, but oh, there you go. Look at that. The ... the smoke to keep himself alive. Cheeky plays from FY. Yep, it certainly was a good understanding of those mechanics. Marana. We've seen her hard carry a little bit today, but this is not one of those games. She just does not hit hard enough. Oh, super. He's going to walk into the wrong place at the wrong time. He'll put an Observer Ward down, but Bolas connect. Sunstrike for good measure. But super just adds another one to the scoreboard here. Wicked 6 streak, and yeah, I think it's about time DT tap out here. Just not much that they can do. I mean, this Ember is just too big at this point. Yeah, Furion is the only one with a decent amount of farm here. Super hops forward, and Jesus. He just gets obliterated. That was a big crit coming out. Sand King has himself the Ag Scepter, but another double Bola. XDD, taking pretty heavy damage. Flame Guard, doing wonders. They'll finish off the Marana, and that's it. That's GG. One of the tier 4s is already down. The other one's going to go down shortly after. Sand King, Epicenter as he hops forward. No, beautiful disruption. FY survives, and they'll kill the Sand King. That's the GG. And there's game 1 of this best of 2. Vici take it 26-11 after 39 minutes of gameplay. Another pretty convincing win. DT played well. Their Nature's Prophet was ratting all over the place, but just didn't have enough. And you can see the players here. Vici, they look reasonably happy. They haven't showed DT yet, but I'm sure they're not too thrilled. Looking at the end game here. Yeah, Nature's Prophet, he was 1-8-7, but still had a pretty big impact. It was just all about that Ember Spirit. Super got really, really out of control, and there was no shutting him down. So we'll have a short break here, guys. Then game 2 of this best of 2 series between Vici and DT will be underway. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit. WPC coverage resumes after this short break.